This is the craziest, most unique episode of Samurai Jack I have seen yet to date. It just has that eeriness right at the beginning because Jack, he's going through this creepy forest that the music starts playing all creepy like, and he finds this figure just crying. We don't know if it's a girl or a boy or if it's even a human. We just hear this crying of a soft voice. It sounds kind of girlish, but we're not 100% sure. And when Jack reaches out, it immediately flees, leaving a toy behind. And Jack goes, picks up the toys, and continues on his mission when he comes across this creepy and eerie house. And this whole episode is just beautiful. It's a hidden gem. I have never seen this episode before. I'm so glad I'm getting the chance to review it right now because it has so much in it that although it is separate from the main Aku plotline, if you look at it in a certain point of view, you can kind of actually see how it still connects with the wider world of Samurai Jack, although it doesn't blatantly say it in the episode. You see, as Jack is going through this creepy house, the stereotypical things start happening. The creaky floorboards, doors opening, shutting for no reason, phantoms you think you see on the next room over, but when you open the door, a whole bunch of either bats or moths or some kind of other bug comes flying out, obscuring your vision, and then it's gone. It's so wonderfully done, every aspect of this, because when you watch this episode, you can't help but getting a little bit creeped out and just loving every moment of it. Because when Jack goes into the house and he starts looking around for the figure that left behind the toy, there's no one to be found. He looks over the place, he doesn't hear anything. He just hears a little bit creaky here and there whenever he's not looking behind him. So he decides to put a toy on the mantle that has this really creepy painting of a hunter with his horse and a couple wild pigs, but they all look kind of demonic. And it's just really creepy looking. So he puts it there, says, "I'm leaving," and immediately as he leaves and turns away, something moves to go grab the toy. Jack turns back, sees it's gone, and he quickly goes behind the chair. That's the only item in this room. And he finds the little girl hiding behind there, and she asks, "Did I scare you?" I was just like, what kind of question is that? But Jack's just like, he's a man. He did get scared a little bit. He's just like, no, I was just curious, what are you doing in this house alone? Do you live here? And then we get to experience more of this frightening story for the house, because like any good haunted house, it won't be a haunted house unless you start having paranormal visions of flashbacks of what happened here. Why is this place so desolate? Why is it destroyed? What was the story behind this place? And we get this between miniature flashbacks. It's not very long, but we get hints and essence that something tragic has happened here. And Jack's just like, okay, we just need to get out of this house right now. I'm getting this super creepy, eerie feeling now, and we just gotta leave. So he takes the little girl, Queen, and they try to leave, only for every exit to be blocked by stone. There's no way to leave this house. And Jack's just like, well, shoot. We don't really have much of an option here. We're kind of stuck. Maybe we rest for the night. And the little girl acknowledges him, and they both rest. Now, when Jack wakes up the next day, he sees light coming out of a specific room that looks pristine, and inside this room is the family. Now the little girl, she still has her wearing confused face, so that's the only thing that really turns you off, that something really wrong here, besides the entire house just being a complete wreck. But you have the mother, the father, and the son, and they all seem to be doing fine. They're wearing traditional Japanese clothing. It seems like it's a normal family gathering, and Jack immediately is like, what's going on here? Are you an illusion? What's going on here? And they're like, oh, no, we're very real. Come, drink this tea. And like, Jackie actually goes and drinks the tea. And I'm like, dude, that's the last thing I'm going to do. I'm not going to touch anything that these spirits are going to be offering me or touching or drinking or eating. Like, you have no idea what kind of demonic foo-foo's going on here. And he goes forward and drinks some of the tea, and he compliments how good it is. And the father mentions that it is from Edo, and I would like to go there someday. It sounds like a nice place, but Jack says that his family went there when he was a kid. So we're getting a little more history of Samurai Jack, which is kind of nice because we don't get a lot of history or background behind Samurai Jack. It's been 3 seasons, and still we are filling in details here and there of exactly what Samurai Jack's childhood was like before Aku rose to power. So I liked getting these little tidbits here and there within the story. Although it's not a main focus, I enjoy getting at least a little extra filled in this episode that isn't probably all that widely known, at least not that I have heard people discussing out there. Now Jack, he goes forward and asks, like, so what's going on with your house? Like, why is the rest of your house destroyed, but this room is so pristine? What's going on here? And at this point, the wife jumps in like, oh, it was a horrible storm. we were lucky enough that this one room is safe. And I'm like, there's no way this room would be fine. This room would be destroyed as well. There's something crazy on here. But Jack is willing to let that go for a little bit, because the father then continues on like, yes, and Toby, my son, tell him about your studies. Tell him how good you're doing in school. And Toby, well, this is where the point of the illusion starts to wear off. Because at that point, Toby's eyes start rolling in the back of his head. He starts foaming at the mouth. The whole area starts shaking and vibrating. The wife, she goes mad as well. And it's just unraveling rapidly at this point. The last part about this vision is the little girl turning to Jack and says, I'm sorry. And then it all goes away, and out comes the demonic demon that has been consuming this family. And then we get the whole story of exactly what is going on. The father, who's on his way back home, was consumed from the clouds by a demonic force coming from the sky, who that went home and consumed the wife, and then burst up into the top floors and consumed the son who was drying. And yet, somehow this little girl survived, which is the most interesting thing. Well, why was she spared by the demon? Now, I have some theories about that, but we'll get into that in a little bit of a later date. Because at that moment, after the vision ends, the demon and Jack fight. And Jack, he gets manhandled pretty well, I'm going to be honest with you. The demon, he uses everything in the house to throw at Jack, knock him to the floor, and then binding him and then sucking his soul out of his body into his demonic realm, where there's now an epic fight between Jack and the demon. This isn't like the other fights that we've seen. This is all in black and white, and if you have issues with flashing lights, I would not recommend watching this, because that's pretty much what this entire scene is. I would put something up here that show you what the fight is like, but I don't want to cause anybody seizures, because that's pretty much what happened here. I think that's why I didn't see it on TV. I highly doubt that after it was first initially aired, it had a chance to really air all that much, because just of the safety issues that people would have about it. They probably complain more. Probably be a banned episode, kind of like how that Pokemon episode is banned for causing people seizures. I'm going to presume that this is a similar situation that we have going on here. Now, the fight with the demon, it's pretty epic. It's going back and forth, and we even get a little sense of Kung Fu Panda 2 Poe's move when he's fighting against that one peacock dude with the cannons. Because Jack, he's able to take this magical orb that the demon shoots at him, whoosh it around his body, and throw it right back at him and destroying him with his own force. Because he tried his sword, but that didn't do anything to him. It took the demon's own mystical powers in order to defeat it. And when Jack comes to, he tells the little girl, like, hey, Kiri, I defeated the demon, but your family, I'm not able to save them. And this is where I have a little bit of an issue with this episode, because at that point, we then hear the family's voices. Now, part of me was thinking, like, oh, okay, now we're going to see them as phantoms, as ghosts, as they go up into heaven, and, you know, this is the final goodbye. But instead, it looks like they're actually back in their corporeal form. I mean, I know in the visions, it showed the demon literally consuming them, but I thought that was just for ease of use, and that the bodies were still laid there, but the souls were sucked out. But I guess not. So, I mean, this demon also had thousands of people within its realm. So does that mean all of a sudden thousands of people that have been trapped within this demon for who knows long are now wandering around the world again? Interesting. I would love to see if we got an episode in the future where Jack meets up with some of these other individuals. Highly doubtful, but I would like to see that at least maybe happen in a future episode. From my recollection, that never happens, but I'm just voicing things I would like to see here out loud. Now, that is where the episode ends, and I said I would get back to a point of this episode that I want to discuss, and that is, how in the world did the little girl not get consumed by the demon? And I think this actually plays to the fact of what this demon is. It is wanting someone to torment. Like, it's one thing to have people consumed and within you, and yes, you can torture them that way. But having a free soul that's constantly around the house that cannot leave because of the emotional attachment, because she wants to save her family, she, cannot bring herself to leave. That is emotional damage that this creature is just causing this child for its own personal amusement. I'm sure it saw her more like a pet than like an actual food source at this point. So it just was playing with her at this point. It's just like a cat and mouse, and the cat could pounce on the mouse at any point in time, but it just chose not to. That, for me, is just defining how sick this is. And where did this demon come from? Well, let's take a look around this house. There seems to be a statue in here that has the headdress of a coup. Now, we have a picture here that shows that it's not of a coup, it's of a woman, I believe. But I'm almost wondering if this is just indication of some form of creature that's supposed to look similar to a coup, or not, because the headdress definitely does. Now, maybe in Buddhism or some other religion out there, it has a similar headdress. Completely possible, especially over in the East. But I would like to make a belief that this family was trying to believe in a coup. They were trying to follow his tenets so that they didn't get in trouble by him. And a coup being evil, doesn't really care about people. And that's just one of Ku's lieutenants that he just let roam the realm, and just so happened to land in this house and consume it. That's my personal thought process on why this happened to this family. There could be other reasons, but I personally like that as my headcanon, that this is just one of the things that will happen to you as a follower of Ku. No one in this world is safe. So, with that, we conclude this chapter of Samurie Jack, the creepiest haunted house episode in Samurie Jack. And if you guys haven't seen it, I highly recommend go watching it. It is a fun time, and thank you for watching. Leave you guys' thoughts and comments down below. I can't wait to hear them. Catch you later. Have a wonderful day. Bye.